We must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
What we do not do is spy unlawfully on Americans.
We are leaving in 2014, period. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
America's public enemy number one in the United States is drug abuse. In order to fight and defeat this enemy, it is necessary to wage a new all-out offensive.
You are listening to Biting the Bullet with Luke and Typo.
Can you record?
Okay,
now?
I'm recording.
Can you record?
Yep, I'm recording.
Dude, look at the fucking hair, bro. Look at the hair. It's long. It's long.
I got mine chopped. I made the mistake though. I went to Great Clips and I had a woman cut my hair.
Why do you do that to yourself?
Because I had a special event that I needed a haircut for, and the other place that I usually go to is booked, and I just got it kind of last minute.
Yeah. Okay. I guess I'll let you pass this time. Am I lagging? Am I lagging? Can you tell if I'm lagging? Okay.
No, but it's so annoying because I don't know if you can tell, but I said fade and there's no fade. I mean, it's like stops. And I'm like, what? Yeah. What is this?
And then it's long again.
What is this?
Yeah. Well, that's what happens when you go to, Great Clips or Supercuts.
A woman.
Oh, well, yeah, a woman. They usually work at those places anyways.
She was very nice though.
Well, I wanted to start by saying what were the things that I wanted to say again? Spotify. So for most of you, or for the people that listen to us on Spotify, you got to see us be super fucking cool this last week, and actually have video on Spotify. They gave, a bunch of different podcasters, I guess, like a limited amount or a group. I don't know how they decided, but they gave our retarded asses access to post videos on Spotify for our episode, like Joe Rogan does. And you could comment on them, or I could ask a post and you could respond to it. I don't know if you could comment on it. I know there was some people that responded to the post that was on Spotify, so that was cool. It kind of works, but we won't be doing that from now on because we don't get any of our analytics and we can't do any of our sponsorships. So that's not going to be a thing, or our one sponsorship. We got a couple more of some companies that, a podcast that we like, and then business that I think would be beneficial to a lot of people. I told you about that one, didn't I, Typo? Yeah, a business that'd probably be beneficial to our listeners. A business that I might have to use soon, depending on my work, or lack thereof work, depending on what happens. Yeah, so we're gonna get those out there. I don't know if they're listening to this. If you guys do listen to this, we're getting it set up. If you guys want to run an ad on our show, let us know. We'll talk about prices, and it's not really anything crazy. I mean, we're not that fucking huge and we don't really give a shit, but we'll do something funny or try to get people to your business because we enjoy you guys, and we'll only accept Bitcoin. So there's that. Second, I wanted to talk about Instagram. We have our new Instagram page and it's fucking dope. It's Biting the Bullet Pod. Yeah, Biting the Bullet Pod on Instagram. Our last one got deleted at like 13,800, 900 fucking followers, whatever. I don't really give a shit. Sucks, but at the same time, I don't care. We're building it back up because it's fun to post memes and piss people off. So go follow that. It's fucking dope. And what was the third thing? There was one last thing. Do you remember what I said? Website. Go check out our website. Our merch is on there. You can get it. We need to renew the domain. We need to figure that out soon because it expires in 14 days. Typo. By the time you hear this, it'll expire in 10 days. So hopefully we still have a website when you hear this episode in the future. All right. Yeah, that's it. All right, cool. This week has me feeling like the cracked out picture. What is it? The fake NPC? It's not the NPC, but it's like the I don't know, the worn out guy, the worn out fucking beanie hatted, cigarette smoking, scruffy faced meme. You know, that's how I feel this week. It's been a long week. It's there's just fucking, as much as I love the dumpster fire of the internet, I am drained this week. I wasn't really on Twitter that much. Well, I was, but I just didn't post anything because I was just like, I don't have anything to say to most of these people. I'm just annoyed and tired.
Yeah. Well, yeah, honestly, this past couple, I guess, week or so, I've kind of avoided social media, I guess. And honestly, I felt a lot better. Like, I was like, oh, dude, this is actually like, when you're not watching, it's weird. It's really weird because, like, there's the reality of things that's going on, and that's kind of what I use social media for, and to shitpost. And so I can, like, kind of see what's going on in the world and what people are paying attention to and
what I can get mad about.
Yeah. And I kind of, like, avoided that for like 4 or 5 days. And, you know, like, honestly, like, it's weird because it's not that, like, things aren't great, but it's like when, you know, when like when like the lockdowns and the whole mask thing and all that, it's like you saw the tyranny in your face. You actually saw, like, actual government intervention in our lives and, like, what the repercussions of that can be. And then you kind of get away from, like, social media, and especially where I live now, I just don't like exactly see it. Like, not as much. Like, you don't kind of see like prices go up, you know, inflation. Like, that's definitely something that affects people around here. But honestly, like, around here, it's like pretty relatively normal.
I found in Phoenix that depending on the area you go to is dependent on the amount of masks you see. And I was in more central Phoenix today at one point, going to a Safeway, and masks everywhere, just everywhere. And it's not like it's like the middle part of Phoenix. It's like half ghetto, half fucking, you know.
Were they requiring them, or was it optional?
No, it was optional, but like almost
that's almost worse.
Yeah, almost everybody in the store was wearing them. I mean, obviously all the employees were wearing them. That's pretty much a given almost anywhere. But no, everybody else was wearing them. And I was actually surprised because, like, around me in Tempe, I don't really see a whole lot of masks. I don't even see a whole lot of masks on, like, employees most of the time. I'm kind of in the ghetto area of Tempe.
Have you been by the college at all?
I mean, we go down there. I'm 5 minutes away from Mill Ave. So
have you been down the college, like, during the day? Like, do they wear masks and shit at the college?
So I don't know what they do at the college. I was working down there the other day. I was literally, you remember where that Jack in a Box is, right on the edge of Mill? Yeah. So there's a hotel that went in right next to that Jack in a Box. Remember that dirt lot used to be where we tried to park all the time and then people started getting towed?
Yeah.
So there's a hotel that went in right there. And I did that whole hotel. And we were close to the college, but we weren't that close to the college. So like, I didn't get to, like, walk over to the college. And every day after work, I was like, I'm fucking out. And I don't really, you know, like, on campus, I don't really, like, when I'm driving around it, I don't really see people walking around outside with masks. But I bet you once they're inside of a classroom, like, there's more people walking around with masks on than anywhere else around the campus. But the majority of people aren't wearing masks outside. They only wear it inside. And that's kind of like the theme in Arizona. Like, I don't really see a whole lot of people walking around with masks on outside, but the instant they walk inside, they all have them around their wrists or hanging from their faces or shit like that. So that's
Yep.
kind of how
I
it
mean-
is here. And
mean,
like the
that's-
more middle class, richer areas, well, not even the rich areas, like the middle class, upper middle class, that seems to be, and the stores that I go to where that's like the predominant class, it's all masks, just all fucking masks, like more
Dude,
masks than non-masks.
The only place in my little town is the schools and the hospitals. And the hospital is at least understandable. It's at least you can kind of wrap your head around that idea. But it's the schools, and it's even the private schools, and it's really weird.
Yeah.
It's weird. I mean, when you drive by and you see kids outside, they won't be wearing masks, but they all got them around their wrist, and then right when they all get in line, about to go back in school or whatever, they all put them on and flood into the school. And it's the only place, like it's not the only place that you'll see masks. Like we have a Walmart here, and the employees will wear it. And then a couple other places here, like the employees will wear it. But I mean, they have signs that require it, but they're not really enforcing it.
Yeah, almost every business I walk into has a sign that says we require you to wear a mask. Even when I'm like working, I see those all the time, but then I walk in and half the employees aren't wearing them. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not fucking wearing a mask. I always walk in without a mask. And if they ask me, only for my job, do I wear a mask? Every other time, if they kick me out of the store or something like that, I've never had it happen. But I walk into every place without a mask when I'm not on work, and nobody gives a shit.
Yeah, we went up closer to the city, up by St. Louis, and we were like in the suburbs on the Illinois side, and it was pretty weird because me and my family walked in this. It was like, I don't know, like some like TJ Maxx type store. My mom wanted to buy some fucking holiday shit, and
some more gnomes.
Yeah, she fucking loves gnomes. We've been invaded. Our whole house or our whole living room and next to the tree and stuff has gnomes. But we walked into this store, and it was a little weird because like pretty much me and my family were the only ones not wearing masks. And it's a little weird.
Doesn't it make you feel outside? Like, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It feels like you're an outsider. Like you are. You remember being in Japan, like for the first time, and like finally getting some off base libo, like you could go and fucking do some shit, and you walk into a store and it's like nobody speaks English, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah,
this is weird.
Yeah,
because it was the first time that you actually went and experienced culture, because you've been on base for a week or 2 weeks, whatever it is, for that onboarding process, and you get to your unit and they're like, we're going to take you out into town, and it's for dinner for the first night that you get there or whatever, and you go out there and they only speak Japanese at the table, and you're like, oh shit, I want this picture. And you just feel outside.
Yeah, it's honestly the same feeling. It's the same feeling because you like, I remember walking into this restaurant in Japan, and this was when I was still at Kinzer, and I walk in and they're like, we're standing there like, oh, do we wait to be seated? Like, how the fuck do we do this? Like, do we just sit down? Like, what? And they're like, shoes. Yeah. And I'm like, what's going on? Shoes. And then some restaurants in Japan, they would require you to take off your shoes and put them by the door. And this one place didn't have chairs. It was just like a little table, and you had to sit
That's a place that I went to for the first time. Was you removed your shoes and then you had a little place to sit cross-legged.
Yeah, you sit cross-legged, which was, I mean, I guess it wasn't that bad because in the military, like in the Marine Corps, they fucking make us sit like that all the time when you're like a boot. Yeah. And so I don't know, that's what it felt like being in that store. And we would like people, I mean, no one ever said anything to us, but we definitely got like looks. And that's kind of like what happens when you're in another country. You kind of get like looks. Because I mean, I'm sure that's what happens to people that come to America.
I don't know.
And they're not from here.
I don't know if it's as bad, because as long as if they can speak English or something like that, everybody's like, oh, this is just, it's just, it's not like most of the time it might not even be a tourist. It's just somebody that, like it's such a more of a melting pot in the United States. Like in certain places, I can definitely see that. They go to fucking bumfuck Kansas and it's
bumfuck Illinois. It would be a little weird.
Bumfuck Illinois, and it's like, a Chinese couple or something like that. I bet you everybody be like, who the fuck is that? They don't work at the fucking Chinese restaurant.
Yeah, they're not the only Chinese family that owns their Chinese restaurant here. What the hell's going on?
But in Phoenix, like, there's so many different, like you walk around Mill for the day or one of the malls for the day, you don't see like everybody's just automatically American in your head until you find out different.
That's true.
Like,
that's true.
And so, but in Japan, that's not like, well, at least where we were at in Japan, that's not how it is. And I bet you in mainland, like it's probably very similar. Like it's not a multicultural. A lot of these other countries are very homogenous. Like
I feel like the cities are definitely, and are probably everywhere in the cities. I feel like everywhere in cities, it's just more multicultural. But once you start getting a little outside the cities,
I agree with that for the most part. Like most cities, like Tokyo, but still, even in Tokyo, I bet they operate under the assumption that the majority of people that are the same color as them are generally Japanese. And there's not a lot of, like, if they see a white person, they don't automatically think that they were born in Japan. But if I see a Chinese, or if I see somebody that's Asian in Phoenix or something like that, I can't operate on the sole fact that, they must be from China. Like, it doesn't work that way. But I feel like in Japan and in, probably like Beijing and some of the major cities around like Baghdad, like I bet you, most of them don't think that all the white people they didn't grow up there. They're fucking there to, take their land.
Yeah. I remember, I think I told this story before, but I was at a restaurant in Japan, and when you get farther away from the base, typically people just don't speak English as well. And we were at this restaurant, and there was an all Asian staff. Most of the people, almost all the people in there were Asian. And our waiter comes over, and I'm just like pointing at the picture, like, I want this. And then they started speaking in like plain English. I'm like, oh, so you want the chicken curly cutlet? And I'm like, whoa, what the fuck just happened? And
you just did some wizardry.
Yeah. And they're like, my dad's a Marine. And like, I was born here, but my dad's a Marine. I'm like, oh, okay. My bad.
You're like, dude, I can hear Japanese now. I understand it.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's different in other countries, and that's the reason why I bring that up, is just because, like, with the whole masks thing, like today when I walked into that store, everywhere else in Phoenix, I don't feel weird. Like, the majority of people in most of the stores that I go to, whether it's Fry's, Costco, like any of those fucking things, majority of people don't have masks. The minority is definitely people that are wearing masks. But that store, it was the exact opposite. It was like walking into the fucking Twilight Zone, and everybody was like avoiding me. Like, there was this like middle-aged woman, not middle-aged. She was, late 30s, maybe early 40s. And she had 2 young kids, and they were running around in fucking masks. And she had a mask on. And I swear to God, I could not like get away from her. Every time I turned, there were her fucking 2 kids and her, and they would like she would like move them over to the other side of the fucking aisle. And I'm like, you're fucking weird, lady. And it makes you feel weird because you're the weird one in that situation. But honestly, I don't give a shit. I was like, I'm here to get my alcohol, some buns, so I can make some barbecue fucking pulled pork tonight. And I don't give a fuck about your masks. I'm not wearing one. And it's just weird. Like, it's like a whole new culture has been born in the United States, and you're either a part of one culture or the other. And it's in the next couple of years, it's going to be very Sunni and Shiite, I feel like.
Well, I was kind of talking about this with someone on Instagram, but I kind of think that there might be some sort of, like, the kids growing up today that are like wearing the mask, they got to follow all this COVID bullshit. And I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm a little bit too optimistic, but I feel like there's going to be a significant amount of those kids they're going to be very against this, like very sort of gut
their
instinct
angsty teenager days.
Well, that's what I'm kind of going off my personal experience, where like, I was here in this small town. Everyone here was kind of more right wing, and I was kind of like, sure, I was probably still considering myself right wing at the time, but I was also like, more adopting of left wing ideas, at least. Like it was, I was not
like, you didn't give a shit about gay people.
Yeah, I didn't care like about like gay stuff or the color of people's skin, and it's not like people here are like extremely against those things. It's just they're not fans of stuff like that, or mixing of races sometimes. Like it's just kind of, we've always been a white little town, and that's kind of the culture here. And I just think that I like, maybe I don't necessarily know if it's like I at least when like the music, for example, the music I listened to was it's much more left leaning. Like all the like punk rock fucking hardcore like punk bands, like they
totally
like,
duped me though. They totally duped me though, because I thought they were like, anti-authority. And I think that's kind of how I grew up, was very anti-authority. Like even when it came to my parents or anything else, like I was just kind of like, a lot of this shit that you're telling me to do doesn't make sense, and you're telling me I have to do it because it's the way to do it, or you're the authority, so you get to tell me how to do it. And whether it was teachers or my parents or law enforcement or whatever else, I was just like, but it doesn't make sense. Like I was always that person. I was like, I get that you're telling me to do this because it's the way that we have to do it, but why? Like I'm very much a why, and I think you are too. And that always got us in trouble. We were just always the why. But going back to the punk rock thing, they were, from their lyrics, very anti-authority, and then you look at their policy and their views, and they're not, and they don't even realize it.
And that's what I'm thinking, is like there's kind of, and it's kind of like the culture that's being suppressed is the one that kind of like resonates with young people sometimes. Like it's not necessarily that you won't adopt your family's culture or political ideas, but it makes you curious that why are they suppressing that? Why do they think it's like bad? Why like you just want to know why, and then you kind of know the answers that they give you, or the authority or whatever gives you, is not a good enough answer. And like I think that same type of mentality is going to resonate with a lot of kids, is like, why do I have to wear this mask? And especially from people here, it's like, why do I have to wear this mask when I'm at school? But then when I leave and go anywhere else, I don't have to wear this mask. Like, it's almost like this gut instinct that like, this doesn't make sense. Now, I'm not saying there won't be any sort of kids that are like, have some sort of trauma or negative effects or whatever from being forced with this nonsense onto them. I think that is a real possibility as well. I just think there's going to be a lot of kids that are going to realize like, we were kind of being lied to. Like, this is kind of bullshit.
And when you look at it as they grow up, like, I mean, more and more shit's coming out every fucking day. Like,
and most kids are all attached to online too.
Yeah. And it's coming out constantly. There's something new every day showing that, or at least begging the question of why we are doing this at the very minimum. Yeah. If it's not outright blatant in your face, like, hey, we shouldn't be doing this, it at least begs the question it leaves the question out there to be asked constantly. Why are we doing this? This makes no sense. And I think kids are naturally, the types to ask questions. They're curious. Like, that's the whole point of being a kid, is to learn things and try and ask those questions. And when it comes to and I knew as a kid or as a teenager that it was very frustrating when people shot down my question with, that's just the way it is, or
oh my god,
or you don't understand. You'll understand when you're older. Like, I hated those two things, and I think a lot of kids will, fight. Like, I think not fight, but like they'll start being the same way. As they're growing up, they're like, what the what the fuck? Like, that's not an answer that you can give me. And they're going to search out their own way to rationalize what's going on. And with all the information that's out right now and the information that will continue to come out, today I got some word that there's going to be some by the end of, or by the middle of next year, that we should wait to hear some information that comes out about some of these vaccines and how dangerous or non-dangerous they actually are. And it's supposed to be in the middle of next year from what I've heard. And it's from a guy that works at a doctor, like is a high up doctor at a major hospital in Phoenix.
Did you hear about Dr. Peter McCullough, I think?
Yeah.
On Joe Rogan?
Yeah, I listened to the whole thing. It was super interesting. And I think, it's the shit that we've been saying the entire time. It's like, I think the night before it came out, I was tweeting because there was another soccer player in Europe that had like a massive like lung problem or heart problem on the field. It's like, it was the third one. And I think there has been another one since then. And then I found out, what's his name from, there's a guy in the NBA who his lungs collapsed randomly. I think he played on one of the teams at the Suns. He's the, what's his name? He plays on the Trailblazers. It's not Dame, it's the other guy. CJ McCollum.
That sounds like
CJ McCollum. Yeah. It might be him, but his lungs collapsed during the game. His chest hurt all of a sudden halfway through a game, and then as it went on, his lungs collapsed, and he's a perfectly healthy person, never had any problems. And it's like, I think I tweeted out the night before that episode came out, I was like, is there any like things that are saying that these vaccines attack like people's lungs? Like, and I didn't really know. And then that came out the next day and it says it may not be attacking their lungs, but if it's attacking their heart because of the lipid proteins or whatever the fuck sciencey bullshit that he said, that it makes it harder for the lungs to operate because they're not getting enough oxygen, which I found out could cause collapsed lungs. And I was like, well, fuck, like, I guess my question's answered.
Yeah. I think, like, if anyone hasn't listened to it, you should go listen to it. It's a really good episode. But it kind of confirms a lot of things that we've already talked about where, this vaccine is not an end all be all for everybody. There's some possible side effects that can come from it that, that's being suppressed, that's actively being suppressed. And one of the most interesting things that I found was the fact that, like, when I didn't even, I didn't know who this guy was. I never heard of him before. I saw it trending on Twitter and a bunch of people were sharing clips of it. And then I saw those clips were being taken down, actively being taken down very quickly. And like accounts with like 500,000 followers were being deleted basically. And so like, I'm just saying everyone should go to that episode of Joe Rogan because the guy basically it's a lot of like confirmation bias for us. Like it was like,
it was definitely
like, I was like, okay, so like, it's not that we're saying that like, the fucking vaccine was causing like mass death or whatever. And like these problems, it's just that a lot of people were pointing out that like, this is not the end all be all answer. And it's a little fishy that you can ask questions about this. And the fact that there's a respectable doctor that's been asking questions since the beginning of this and has shit ton of facts from the FDA and from the CDC. And then now it's being actively suppressed on like Twitter. And that's funny too, because they even make that comment in the podcast where like, if you said this on YouTube, it would be taken down.
Thankfully, we're on Spotify on a platform that we can say these things and they let us, which is surprising about Spotify. Too bad their fucking video thing sucks dick right now. Because I really like the video thing. Oh, and by the way, we're on Odyssey. I created an Odyssey too. We're on Odyssey. You can give us fucking Libsyn coins or whatever the fuck they are, and I'm gonna convert them into Bitcoin. But yeah, it's just and then basically I listened to that early on in the week. I've been watching the Suns all week, and fucking love the Suns. I'm a big Suns fan, and watched a heartbreaking loss, and then a great win over Portland, and then DeAndre Ayton fucked me because he sat the whole fourth quarter because they were blowing up the fucking who were they playing? No, they weren't. It wasn't the Kings. It was.
Was it the Washington?
Yeah, it was the Wizards. They were blowing up the
right.
Wizards. He needed 4 more points, and I would have made $1,800, but I didn't get it. That's all I needed. Everything else happened in the game that I said would happen, and he would have finished with fucking over 20 if he actually played the goddamn fourth quarter. Anyways, but yeah, so like it was just like a series of things, and then, but all week they've been at work. They've been fucking hitting. I posted about it today on Twitter, but they've been hitting hardcore on this vaccine verification thing that they want us to do. And it basically is just stating, are you vaccinated or are you not vaccinated? And you don't have a choice to pick anything else. They haven't given us ramifications for not picking anything, but they hit us up about it every week for the last 2 months, basically. And originally people were going to answer because OSHA's requirement was there anyways. And now it's being fought in the 5th District Court. So there's like a lot of us that are like, we're not fucking answering. First off, like, fuck you. I don't want to answer. Second off, like, I don't understand why you get to know what my vaccination is. And that was like, and then we got emails, all of us, because today's the last day, 17th. Today is the last day for this vaccine verification. And we were like, nah, like we all got an email, all the people that weren't, and we were all talking about it, like calling each other throughout the day. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna send an email back to the HR lady that's been sending it out. And she was horrible the entire time. The person was blatantly disrespectful, and but I ended up getting her saying, we don't know the ramifications of it if you do not answer. You have the choice not to answer. Until I told her I'm not answering because you can't answer the questions that I need to be answered. Where's this information going? Who gets to view it? I know vaccinations don't work the same way when it comes to HIPAA and the privacy rule that goes along with HIPAA. They can put your name and your vaccination status together and give it out to people. I know that for a fact because I looked it up today on the healthcare website for the United States government, like HHS.org or whatever. It says it right there. If you look up, are vaccinations covered under HIPAA? And the first one says no. Like literally the first question and answer says no. So they can sell it and do whatever they want with it. And they can also require you to answer it. So that's another big crazy part about it, is that they can actually require you to answer it. An employer can. And, it's just, it turned into a whole thing today. And my day was long anyways, because I was doing a shit ton of stuff. And it's just like, this shit's finally coming to a head. And I think it's finally coming to a head with a lot of people. And it's going to be fucking interesting because there's a lot of people that are in the same mindset as we are, and especially as me, that are like, fuck this. I don't care anymore. And I'm willing to do things that most people aren't willing to do about it. And that's one of them is argue. And the second one is I think I can make it anywhere if I absolutely have to. I don't want to. I like my job. I don't mind the company I work for. But at the same time, it's like when shit gets out of hand like this and it keeps going and going and they can ask more and more of you and more and more of you and more of you and you don't get any say at a certain point, it's like, why? What's the point? And they're going to keep asking. And most companies in the United States are going to keep asking. So it's going to be a fucking wild end of the year, I believe. And then I think we're going to pick up right where we left off, and it's going to be a wild first couple months in 2022.
Yeah, man. There's been did you see the NFL is about to postpone like 4 or 5, like 3 or 4 games? Oh, 3 games.
Yeah,
because
2 are on Tuesday and then 1 is on Wednesday, I think.
Weird. But the most
kind of like
interesting,
last year.
Yeah, it's almost kind of like last year. But the most interesting thing though is like someone came out with I was showing that like 97% of the NFL is vaccinated. Most of the NBA is vaccinated. Most of the NHL actually is the closest to being 100% vaccinated.
Yeah, that's because most of them are fucking Canadian.
Yeah, that makes sense. But well, the thing is like they're having all these outbreaks of COVID. I mean, I don't know how many times that we've seen like, so and so on COVID protocol, so and so on COVID protocol, and I know they kind of come out and said like which is true, that the vaccine does not stop the spread, but they're acting like like they're acting like what was sold to us in the beginning was that this was supposed to stop the spread. They told us, and then this is like the worst thing is like the corporate press's narrative and the goalposts have shifted so much from the beginning. It was once the vaccine came out, it was supposed to be like, we're going to get back to normal. And that was the whole idea, is like, we're supposed to get back to normal. You didn't have to wear your mask anymore. You didn't have to, I'm pretty sure that there's like accounts of them saying that like, you can't spread it anymore. Now, all those things have came out to be false. People are still requiring to wear masks, even regardless of vaccination status. Now they're saying, it's like we're getting close to like, I think Israel's on like their 5th booster shot or some shit, and like America now they're really pushing hard on boosters right now. Like there's fucking
booster videos, singing videos.
Yeah, the Platonics or whatever they are called are singing for the White House
today, and I was like, this is my 13th reason why, right here. Them singing. I've had a lot of 13 reason whys, so I'm probably on like my 113th reason why. For the last 2 years, but that one was really bad. And it's like the boost, like now we're talking about boosters. Did you see that video that Pete fucking shared? And it was like a TikTok video, and it was like the amount of boosters that would take, like whatever, and it like the numbers don't make sense on the amount of boosters that have or vaccines that have been given per the amount of people that have actually gotten them. And it would take like 30 years to vaccinate everybody with three boosters, 5 companies and 5 different plants per company to make all these boosters, but somehow we're at 2 billion people fucking, vaccinated.
There's a report that came out in New York that like homeless people were getting vaccinated.
Yes.
And then they were turned around and selling their IDs because they had the vaccine passport. Yeah. So people
and they can go back in as many times as they want. And they just don't have to write their name on it. If they don't write their name on it, they can sell it to whoever the fuck they want to.
Yeah.
Dude, that's all right. I saw a homeless dude today. I don't believe most people are homeless, to be honest. Like this is
they don't exist. I don't believe in homeless people.
This is my new thing. I think there's a lot of people. I think the majority of the homeless that we see hang around, look dirty as shit all day, and make six figures a year. They just fucking
actually I don't know if they still do it, but the college town that's not too far from me, like 45 minutes away, it's a pretty big college here in Southern Illinois. And there would be what they thought was a bunch of homeless people camping out, begging for money. And then some fucking like college journalist or journalist major went and was like interviewing. And it turns out like most of them were college kids that lived on the campus, and they were begging for money just as like a side gig on the weekends. Yeah,
dude, this guy, I was parked right next to him, getting off the freeway at an off ramp. And he has a sign, says hungry. That's all it says hungry. I didn't give him no fucking money. I'm fucking a paycheck and a half away from being homeless. So I didn't give him no fucking money. And I just kind of stared at him. My windows were down. And I think Take to the Streets was playing. Take to the streets. We'll take it all. Anyway, so that's blaring in my fucking truck, my work vehicle. And and he's just staring at me. And I don't fucking acknowledge him. And he walks down the line and then walks back up, and he gets on his brand new, like literally brand new with a fucking OtterBox case iPhone. And I was like, hungry. Like in my head, I'm like hungry, but you respect the hustle. Like I'm not going to rat him out or anything, but like This is why. And then, but behind them, there's like 15 other homeless people. They're in like and at this point in at this off ramp, it's like an
They taking
overpass
shifts?
too. Well, yeah, they're taking shifts, but it's like cement blocks, and you can't see them unless you're where I was at in the line. And there's like 15 of them, and they're all sitting there on their fucking phones. One of them had a Nintendo fucking Switch.
Yeah,
And I was just seen that. I was just nah. I was like, nah, man. Like, I'm not giving any of these motherfuckers money. I'm never giving, in Phoenix, Arizona, at the very minimum, I'm not giving any of these motherfuckers money. Hell no. Especially right now, it's nice out. They can get fucking water anywhere. Like, it is fucking ridiculous. I was like, you got a nice, well, I have a nice phone now, but talk to me 3 months ago, and that motherfucker had a nicer phone than me by like 3 years. Nicer phone.
If they're panhandling in the
summer,
costs
more than my rent.
Yeah,
for 2 months.
If they're panhandling in the summer, they
Maybe.
might be legit.
Yeah.
They might be legitly homeless. But like somehow the homeless
And
population
if you
goes
give them
away in
water
the summer.
and they don't throw it at you, that, you know, they're not homeless. But if you give them water and they're like, oh, thank God, and then down it, it's like, all right, yeah, they're probably homeless. But I get stacks of water from my work. I'll give it out to fucking homeless dudes because I keep it in an ice chest. I give it out to the homeless all the time when I'm at work. I'm like, hey man, here's a bottle of water. I had a dude throw a bottle of water back at me. All right, bitch. Like, you're lucky I'm in a fucking work truck. I would get out and beat the fuck out of you. Like, how dare you? He's like, I didn't ask for water, I asked for money. And I was like, you fucking bitch. Lucky there's a green light right now.
Release the cops.
Like, God damn. But like, yeah, like, you know, but at the same time, like, just going back to how we got on this conversation before I went on my homeless people rant, that they're not fucking homeless. But yeah, dude, I saw that story, and they're just selling it to fucking rich people, and it's like, that's the best goddamn fucking grind right now. Like, the market fucking provides. And
I heard
there's a lot of people that don't want the fucking vaccine, and there's people willing to get it multiple times. You see that Australian dude that got the vaccine 10 times?
When you create a demand for something, the market will provide.
Yeah. And so guess what? There's a shit ton of people in the United States of America and a shit ton of people around the world that will not get these, but they will do anything in their power to be treated the same way of people that do have them. And they will make their money last as far as it needs to get that ultimate goal.
Yeah. And it's just, this is like, the press has like created this like hysteria that like this COVID shit is so bad, it's going to fucking murder all of us. If you don't get the vaccine, if you don't wear your mask, you know, the unvaccinated are causing the transformer Omicron variant to spread. Omicron variant to spread.
Come on, man, spread. Come on, man.
And it's fuck, what was I saying? Oh, and you know, it's just like back when like 9/11 happened, and all of a sudden the government was like, you know, we're on alert orange in this area because there could be a possible terrorist attack here and there and here and there. And then the news would talk about all these different possibilities that like, oh my God, we're going to be bombed here. And like I'm pretty sure there was like in around this county, which has like 32,000 people total, that somewhere was like code yellow, which is mild. But it was like, why the fuck?
Who's going to do anything out here?
Come to a place where if you blew up a building, you could kill like 2 people at most. Like what? And it was just, that's what they do. They institute fear into us. So then they can get away with their fucking bullshit. And it's the same thing that's happening now. It's just a virus. And it's all these different things. And it's just so crazy that like I found, I think you saw it too. I found like this in New York City account where they take
quote tweeting his shit too.
Yeah. Well, I commented. So it was this account on Instagram is where I found it first. And it basically is this account that takes pictures of people on New York City public transportation and post them online because they're not wearing their mask. And then they tag New York City government officials and the New York City Police Department.
Yep.
Because
And
they're not doing their job and enforcing the mask mandate.
His what's it called? Pinned tweet is, I work with kids in low income neighborhoods in New York. COVID-19 has disproportionately impacted these communities. All I'm asking is that you consider the safety of others, specifically those less fortunate, and mask up, New York City. And if you look at his fucking tweets, every single person that he's fucking tweeted about with a picture is a minority. It's a fucking minority. It's a Puerto Rican dude. It's, two Hispanic dudes, and then one dude that looks like he's Middle Eastern or some other descent of, in that area. And then more Hispanic dudes, like there's two white people, an Asian girl, like they're all fucking minorities. They're not just like, so you're ratting. And I think what I said was, I was like, he posted that and I quote tweeted it. And I was like, proceeds to rat out minorities not wearing masks. Like, all right, so who's the real shitty person here? The one that's saying that they're in defense of minorities? But this is what we've talked about on the left all the time. They say that they're in favor for minorities and protecting the minority. And, they have the white savior complex, basically. And all they do is make it worse. All they do is make it worse. Or
you're making,
even if they were doing good intentioned things, it still makes it worse.
Yeah, a lot of that's the thing, dude. I mean, it's the hoax that Democrats care about people of color when most of their policies that they push hurt people of color the most.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just researching because Illinois has the 5th or 6th worst gun laws in America.
Yeah.
They're fucking terrible. But what I found out is that most of the gun laws aren't even enforced in most of the state. It's mainly enforced in Cook County, where Chicago is.
Yeah.
And that means 78% of possession charges are black people.
Yeah.
And it's just a possession charge. It's not that some of them, don't get me wrong, I think that even it broke it down to 6% of those people were violent criminals. But so most of them are non-violent. They don't have any sort of, they're not violent, they don't hurt.
Possession. They got a speeding ticket and possessed a gun that was illegal.
Yeah.
So instead of getting a $450 fine, which I'm sure it's probably more in Illinois, especially in Chicago.
Yeah, I don't know.
I bet you the fine for speeding inside Chicago is insane. Instead of just getting that, they catch a felony charge and go to prison. Because
which is a minimum
committed
of
a crime. They committed a crime with a weapon, and that's but Chicago is the premier people of color left liberal city. It's so much for the minorities. It fucking loves minorities, because you want to know why it loves minorities? Because it locks them up for years at a time and then destroys their communities, because they arrest fucking 35% of the population, 90% of it being black males, and fucking destroyed the entire community because there's no 2-parent household in existence, because half of them go to prison, and then when they get out, all they can do is sell drugs or be in a gang, so they at least make some sort of cash flow to protect and take care of their family.
Yeah. And when these people get really pissed off at where they'll say the unvaccinated, and then in their mind, they're thinking of the rednecks, that Trump voters that are not they don't even associate in their lives every day. And the reality is the people that they actually do encounter and the people that they actually do see every day are the minority population in their city. Those are the ones that are the unvaccinated they're talking about. So when they're referred to the unvaccinated,
they know it.
They gotta know it. They gotta know it. They just ignore it. They just
they say they're too uneducated, and it's white people's fault that they don't trust us. But not the liberal white person. It's the conservative white person's fault that they don't trust us. And it's what the fuck do you mean? The liberal white person is what's keeping them down right now. Don't get me wrong. I could go on, and I probably will here in a little bit part of this podcast, and talk about, the right wing and all this and their fucking bullshit, because that's what I'm dealing with at work. It's a right-leaning company. But to be quite frank, at this point in time, if we're talking about cities like Chicago and San Francisco and New York, and who homelessness, is a huge part of the city, or gun crime is a huge part of the city, or crime in general, violent crime is a huge part of the city. Liberal dominated metropolitan areas. And it's not because of the racist white folk that are taking them down constantly. It's because of the liberal white folk and the liberal folk in general continuing to perpetuate this fucking insanity that they are for people of color when they just want people of color to conform with what they want. Where most conservatives are like, I just don't want to associate with them.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about the ones that are like very prejudicial and, maybe racist, like actual racist, they just don't want to associate with them. They don't think, like, the majority of conservatives don't believe that they are like the scoundrels of the earth and they need to be thrown into the pits of hell. They're just like, I just don't want them in my white neighborhood. And it's like, well, fucking most of those people don't want to be in your fucking white neighborhood. You guys got a shitty HOA, and I can't put up a fucking picket fence without getting approval by you guys, you fucks anyways. So like, it's just this whole fucking world right now is upside down, and it's because of fucking Harambe. They killed Harambe in Ohio, and it's been hell since then. It's literally been a fucking clown world. I mean, right after Harambe died, the clowns started showing up and staring at people on highways.
Oh, I forgot about that, dude. That was a weird internet trend.
That was a super weird internet trend, and it was like, I kind of wanted to come back.
That was around when It was coming out too.
Yeah, the first one, the first remake.
Yeah, that was fucking creepy because there was like, because it was like, I think it was just a bunch of people like, fucking with other people, but it was creepy as fuck. It was
because
weird.
there's a certain aspect of that it's like, they might not be fucking with you. They might not be.
Yeah.
Because then they could get away with it because it's like, you don't know who they are. Like, you have no way of saying you sound kind of insane. Like, there was a fucking clown and it attacked me out on the freeway in the middle of nowhere. It was in the middle of the street. I slammed on my brakes. I got out and yelled at it, and then it started running at me with a machete. Like, officer, that's what happened.
Yeah, that was fucking weird, dude. I forgot.
It killed my girlfriend. Are you sure, sir, that you didn't kill your girlfriend? Dude, it was a fucking clown. I don't know what to tell you.
I swear, you pushed her down the stairs, officer.
But yeah, my rant on conservatives right now is like, I work for a company that's very right leaning. It's very anti-union. You take anti-union classes when you fucking start the job. I'm very anti. Yeah. There's like two classes that are like why unions aren't beneficial in our working field kind of deal. I'm anti-union. I'm fucking not a fan of unions. Similar to an HOA, in my opinion. I think most of them are fucking bullshit. I have to pay them money for no goddamn reason. They don't protect me. They protect themselves. However, the way that these COVID things are going, I see I've seen it, not in my field. I've seen it in other fields across the country. People unionizing to stand up against mandates. Kind of for it. I think more people should do that in their companies. I totally agree. I told my company this. I was like, this is what you're forcing people into. Because now they're not getting any protection and you're writing them off like they have no say, which is part of not being in a union. Like that's kind of what comes with the territory is you listen to your employer and go with the flow. But there's nowhere in my contract saying I need to be vaccinated, anything like that. And that's kind of where you do get your say, and another part of the conservatives is they're going along with it. This is a conservative fucking company. I know many conservative companies across the United States that are mandating vaccinations. Mine, thankfully, isn't yet. I believe they probably will, but mine isn't yet. But they're conservative. The conservatives have voted for increasing the CDC budget. They voted for increasing the FDA budget. They're not against COVID. Like, these people are not. No one right now in positions of power in Senate or House are against COVID. There's maybe a handful, people that you could count on your fingers.
Like
and even then,
Freedom Caucus in the
yeah,
Republic,
and
like
even
the Rand
then, some
Paul
of them,
types.
yeah, and even some of them, you've seen them lately is talking about how you should at least just be wearing your mask and or just go along with it. It's not dangerous. It's like Todd this last weekend for the Libertarian Party, Todd Hajopian or whatever.
Oh yeah,
did you see
that was
him
a
where he was like,
weird-ass
I got
tweet.
my vaccine, and it's like, whatever, dude, get your fucking vaccine. Get your
Yeah,
fucking
that guy.
vaccine. I don't care that you got your vaccine. And
He made
he's
a
probably
tweet.
doing it. He was doing it to get the clicks, and he was doing it to cause a stir. I fully think he did that just to get
Maybe he was.
interaction. Understand. I get it. You're not, I don't think he's necessarily an internet personality. Dude makes more money than fucking God, at least than us. He's a very successful business owner. And for the most part, I really like what he has to say. I think he's a very middle of the road, but still on the anarchy side of the Libertarian Party. Like, I think that's who he is. But I think there was no point. I don't think there's any point in carrying even the smallest bit of water for this machine right now. Like, there's none. It's like the one guy that talked about Nick Fuentes, that he was like, I respect Nick Fuentes more than I respect any mainstream media site in the fucking country. And then the libertarian left-leaning caucus basically went after him and was like, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, dude, I fucking do. I think Nick Fuentes is a little bitch. I think that guy's a little fucking cuck bitch. And if I saw him in the street,
he stirs pots.
I know he's great at stirring pots, and I like him. If I met him personally, I bet you I don't like the guy. Bet you I don't like him. I don't think our personalities clash, and I don't like his ideas.
The only thing I like about him, the only thing I like about him is that he is a right-wing authoritarian, and he fucking admits it.
Yeah,
he's honest. At least he's fucking honest.
Yeah, I respect people more that are open and honest about how they feel. Doesn't mean I like them. Dude, respect. But at the same time, it's like, I respect him way more than I would any fucking mainstream journalist. The only one that I have, the only one that I could have any sort of respect for, that I think at this point in time, is Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, him and maybe Kennedy, I guess.
Yeah, Kennedy. I can give them. I don't know enough about Kennedy to like really speak on that, but I watch when Dave Smith and some of the libertarians pop up there. I like that. But like, it's just the right wing is not the fucking saviors. And the libertarian, I'm not saying the Libertarian Party is the fucking saviors either. If anything, they're a hindrance to there's something, I don't fucking know. They're your autistic brother sitting in a corner after like Thanksgiving dinner. Like, I don't know. They're just, there's something else completely. Like, it's almost worthless in my opinion. And I think honestly, the Democratic Party and the Republican Party are almost without worth as well. Like, there's no way of getting, I think it's reinforced over the last couple months in my head, where I used to think that maybe there's a chance of even pragmatically like going after Republican seats or, voting in Republicans for certain things. And, I thought that maybe that's an answer. I honestly believe at this point in time, maybe my ideas change in the next couple months at this point. And with the midterm elections coming up next year, maybe it changes. Maybe I'll get excited about somebody that actually thinks that they can do something and they actually provide a plan that shows that they can do something. I don't see it happening. I think they're all fucking worthless. I just don't. The only way to get out of this shit is for people to start saying, fuck you, I'm not doing it. And that's kind of where I'm at. And the more
Civil
people that say, yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you look at it, we didn't get changed historically. We didn't get revolutions from people voting people in. We got revolutions because people said, fuck you, I'm not doing it. And I think that's the only way to fucking get out of this, because it's not looking fucking good. And if there's one thing that the Republican and Democrat Party do well together, it's increase their power together. So, and I think that's all this COVID shit is.
Yeah, I think the bunch of Republicans just helped vote in like a database for the vaccines, and Dan Crenshaw, he was one of them that voted for it. And I mean, Dan Crenshaw is like, I mean, he even went after the Freedom Caucus. He fucking
went after
he was
Massey and
Rand Paul, and I think Mike Lee or whatever his name is from like Utah or some shit like that. But like the only ones that are like pretty decent in DC, like it's, you know, they're not as radical as I want them to be, and I don't think a lot of people will be as radical as I want them to be, but I think that might be asking a little too much these days,
right?
But you know, like, and that's one of the but the weird thing is like I don't know, I don't see a lot of enthusiasm on the Republican side, especially like this is like around here. You know, I don't see a lot of enthusiasm for a Republican governor here in Illinois. You know, there's some people that, because there is a Republican, he is from somewhere down here in Southern Illinois, farmer guy, conservative type, and there's just not a lot of enthusiasm. But I think a lot of people here think it's a lost fucking cause. Like, there's no way.
That's what I was going to say.
There's no way that we can get a Republican as governor in Illinois. Now, is it possible? Maybe. We saw Trump somehow win when everyone, even me and you, I was like, there's no way Trump's going to win. Like, there's just no fucking way. Like, it's just not possible. So maybe there is a possibility, but no one's really excited about it. But what people are excited about here is they're sitting around waiting for 2024. They're waiting for their goddamn savior to come back, dude.
Trump train 24.
That's all I see here. So as Trump flags, Trump 2024, like the dude hasn't even fucking announced. He hasn't even threw his hat in yet. I think he's going to run. It's Trump. He can't take an L. He can't. That's just how this fucking dude is. And I think he really will run.
Can you imagine if he got reelected? God damn, that would be,
dude.
One of the best times
in a way.
I know, I kind of do.
I kind of
just because I think it speeds the collapse. Like at this point, I think it speeds the collapse. Like
it's a lost cause. Let's have some goddamn fun while it's falling apart.
Yeah, let's fucking. It's the meme that you posted. You think the United States government collapsing is funny, and he's like, and it's the Joker, and it's like, yeah, and I'm tired of pretending it's not. And it's like,
yes.
At this point, let's just make it a fucking ride. Like, I am ready to go. I will go down with this ship.
Yeah, I'm not saying
raise my hands up.
I'm not saying it's going to be a smooth ride. I don't know what's going to happen. You know, it could shock me and all. It could shock me. And everything blow over. Like, we're gonna go to the pub and wait for everything to blow over. Like,
will be.
I think it's very possible that like things might not be as bad as everyone predicts it to be if the federal government kind of like dissipates and goes away. But it might be really fucking rough too. It might be a rough ride for some
I tend
places.
to believe that. Oh yeah, I think for a lot of places it will be very rough, and there's going to be plenty of places where nothing's fucking changed. But I think the cities are going to have it the roughest. I think that's where you see the motion picture Hollywood depiction of anarchy or chaos, as we like to call it.
That's true. Cities and government employees, state or federal, because then they lose all that funding that gets backed by the federal government. You're going to have a lot of government employees that all of a sudden aren't getting paid as much anymore. And there's a shit ton of people that are dependent on the state.
All right. I saw this the other day, and it was posted on one of the libertarian Facebook pages. And it was like you have the option of deleting the IRS, like making the IRS go away, or making the CIA go away. Which one would you choose?
Oh, I think I'd have to go with the IRS, but
yeah, no fucking shit, because how does the CIA get fucking paid?
I almost want to pick the CIA though, out of instinct. Like,
but it fucking deletes it too. It's the thing that directly backs up the money of the United States besides the Federal Reserve. And obviously, if it was the Federal Reserve and the CIA,
that would be number one.
Yeah, obviously. But like the IRS, like if you got rid of them taking everybody's money, everybody would be like, yeah, why'd you take fucking so much of my money in the first place? And now how are you paying for all these fucking programs that, or how are you're just making more money? Like, and I think it would speed up the fucking collapse. I don't know. There was a lot of wrong answers on that thing. And I was just like, how you're supposed to be libertarians at the very minimum, just be libertarian enough.
Yeah,
but
that's
like I get it. The CIA, like the CIA, as bad as it is, doesn't do as much harm to the United States as the fucking IRS, because the IRS is what props up a lot of these agencies.
Yeah, I'm siding with the IRS, but I understand. I think I can understand people's gut reaction to the CIA because they're. I don't because one doesn't exist without the other.
Just evil. They're both evil. They're both equally evil.
But is it like, I guess if it was a libertarian page, we should. Yeah, you know what? If it's a libertarian page, libertarians should definitely be picking the IRS.
Yeah.
But if it's a general public, I think I can understand why they picked the CIA.
I could understand that because they're like, I don't really know what the IRS does except take my money at the end of the year. Whatever. Fucking retards in their own right. But it's just I going back to what I was talking about, like Democrats and Republicans and fucking libertarians, there's just so much ass. Like it's just a whole bunch of hot garbage. And it's fucking frustrating. And I want to laugh. And I don't get to laugh. So if Trump could win in 2024, that would be awesome. If Ron DeSantis won in 2024, I wouldn't be that upset. I don't think he's I think it's
possible.
Yeah, I think that's more possible than Trump winning. But could you imagine if it was Trump and Hillary again? That would be fucking dope.
God,
Hillary
dude,
might win again. I heard she might run again.
Don't get my hopes up, dude.
That would be fucking phenomenal. Dude, it's kind of weird. She hasn't been around in a while. She hasn't been like around a while.
The only thing I saw is when she did her acceptance speech or whatever.
Oh, and everybody shit on her for it?
Or was it an acceptance or a concession speech? I forgot which one she did. Well, whatever. I didn't even watch the video because
she got like a honorary doctorate at some fucking school, and she like accepted it or something. Yeah. And for like her speaking engagements or something like that, like for speaking there, they gave her like an honorary degree or something like that. And it's like, well, you got paid $1.2 million to be here and you get a fucking degree. Okay, bitch. But, it's just, that would be hilarious. Hillary or Clinton versus Trump 2.0 a year after Trump gets voted out by Biden. That would be fucking awesome.
Dude,
and if Hillary wins, I definitely don't believe it. If Hillary wins, I definitely wouldn't believe it.
I would definitely think it's fake. Like, I don't know.
It'd be like clearly fake.
Oh my God.
Like it have to be fake.
I feel like it would be fake. I just feel like there's no way.
Well, and that's the thing. Is like I think that they're looking at other candidates because I'm pretty sure they're like, we can't keep up this shit with Biden. We can't. Well,
there was an NBC poll that came out and they said like, who do you want to run? And like there was like a very low percentage, under 50%. I think it was in the 30s was said Joe Biden should run again. And then like 20 or even less than that was Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
So I feel like they got to run somebody else. I don't know who it's going to be. Like I think the media is pushing for Hillary Clinton right now, or like kind of giving the idea, floating it out there, trying to see what the
Michelle
reaction is.
Obama, Oprah Winfrey. I heard that too down the pipeline. But we heard that last year. We heard that last election that was going to be possible, and it's like, that'd be fucking wild. Like that would. I think that's a blockbuster like team for the liberals. Like that's just.
It's true.
Two females. Both black, one of the beloved fucking savior of the Democratic Party, Barack Obama. And Barack Obama would be back in office, kind of doing his speaking things, being the first man.
Yeah,
he'd be the first black president. It'd be the first black president and the first man instead of the first lady. Like it would be, Like, it's easy. I could write that script all goddamn day. Like, that's easy. It would be a shoo-in. To be honest, like, I think it'd be shoo-in. It wouldn't matter who the Democrat or who the Republican was, unless it's like a really strong, outspoken Ron DeSantis that came out of nowhere and was fucking charismatic and funny.
I think there's still a lot of time before the 2024 election. So I think the Democrats are going to learn their lesson in this midterm about the lockdowns.
I think it's going to backlash on them a little bit. And that's the other thing. All right. So sorry to interrupt again, but I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, in 2 to 3 years, I feel like this COVID shit is going to be out the fucking window. Cause I see Democrats like, you know, really like starting to like the one girl that was on fucking TikTok today that I think Mel shared it. She's from E-Militia. She shared it and it was like, I'm double vaccinated in New York. I go to NIU or some New York fucking university school, and the school closed down because it's break, and I got COVID. And she's double vaxxed and has the booster shot or something like that. And she got COVID and she doesn't know what the fuck to do, but the school basically told her to fuck off. And all the hotels that are COVID hotels in New York just didn't respond to her. And she was like, I don't know what the fuck to do because I don't want my family to drive 8 hours down here and then me infect them all with COVID as we all drive all the way back up. And she doesn't have a car because she's from fucking New York. And, you know, like New York City, New York. And then I guess, so I was like, I laughed because I thought it was funny. But then I was like, I also feel bad because there's a shit ton, like, I still have the empathetic side of me, which fucking annoys the hell out of me, where it's like, there's a lot of people that are under this fucking guise because they just don't know any better. And that is sad to me. It's super fucking sad, but it also infuriates me because I'm like, how stupid can you fucking be? And it's just like, it's not that everybody's stupid. There's just a lot of people that really believe in other people. And I'm jaded enough to realize that most people are speaking bullshit. Which sucks because it says a lot about me more than it says about them. But at the same time, and then Mel replied and she was like, there was a shit ton of people in the comments offering her help and she basically ghosted all of them too. So, and I was like, oh, I don't feel bad anymore. But, you know, there's a lot of people out there that are just like, I don't know, because it's probably not as serious as she was making it out to be, but she was having a nervous breakdown for TikTok. Which is another lefty liberal female thing to do anyways. But at the same time, you know, there's a lot of fucking people out there that are in spots that did things because they thought it was the right thing to do because people that they assume are smarter than them told them to do it. And that's how they've been trained since fucking 4 years old in every goddamn school they've ever been to. And now they're getting fucked left and right. It's like the Marine Corps, that fucking tweet that you posted about the Marine Corps, where it's like a large group of military or Marines aren't getting the vaccine, or they have the highest percentage of military members not getting the vaccine. And that dude was like, oh, so you posted something and you're like, fuck yeah, or something like that. And the dude posted, oh, you want Marines not to follow orders. And it was like, bitch, these people the people that will hold the Marine Corps up to the highest regard and probably do the best for the Marine Corps ever if they actually let them, are the ones getting shit on constantly because the Marine Corps is absolutely fucking garbage at taking care of their own troops. And that's what's happening just on a larger scale for the United States. Yeah, I totally agree. It was a Military Times article. It was only like 103. As of right now, 103 Marines are being kicked out of the Marine Corps because they're refusing the vaccine. And it said in the article that it was the Marine Corps has the highest percentage of people that are refusing the vaccine in the DOD, which is fucking huge. And well, I saw that guy tweeted and he was like, oh, you know what, you want Marines not to follow orders. And basically he said the Marines don't follow orders and have their own ideas. And I retweeted him with the Ted Krasinski meme and was like, yes. Yes, that's exactly what I want Marines to do. I want them to come up with their own ideas and not just blindly follow shit like most people have to do. And but it's fucking, well, I think we talked about this before, is like, and we saw it,
but like the fucking, which is, I don't know if it's really a good judgment of this, but like the amount of support for Trump, the Marine Corps was the highest in the DOD. I mean, there was like this scale of like who's Democrat and who's Republican, and it was like the intelligence agencies were all blue as fuck. Yeah. All of them were blue, and then it would go down, and then you had like the military branches, like the Army, Air Force, fucking, and they were like purple. The Navy was purple, and then the Marine Corps is at the very bottom, and it was just
red,
bleeding red, just fucking blood red, and that was the only agency that was.
And it had nothing to do with like their red-blooded Americans. It had everything to do with the rhetoric Trump spoke. It had everything to do with how he spoke, what he talked about. That's what it was.
Yeah. Well, the most like. Yeah, the Marine Corps like draws in the most, I would like the most Americans, like the American, like the people that they really believe in the American idea, like the idea of what America is supposed to be, at least what was fed to them. And that's what draws in like the most, and then it's like the most savage people. They want the challenge, they want the hardest. They aren't choosing the Marine Corps because they know it's going to be easy. They choose the Marine Corps because they know it's going to be the hardest one. Yeah. And they want that, like, and that's the same thing that like kind of like the Trump rhetoric comes from, is just like this savagery. Say what you want, say it out loud, be fucking proud, don't step down no matter what. No matter who you're up against, if you say something stupid, double down. Yes, double down and make a joke out of it. Triple down, and then you clown the shit out of people. Like it happened all the time, dude. Like they happen all the time in the Marine Corps. Like the Air Force would make like you'd be talking like Air Force dudes, and they'd be like, "Yeah, but we get paid more because of this," and like, "Yeah, but you're pussies." Like, there's no logic to that. Yeah, there's no logic to like that answer, but it's just like that's what the Marine Corps generates and the type of people and it's really ingrained in the culture. Like, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what it is. And then so, and it's weird too, because we talked about this too in that article. Now, I don't know how correct this was, but the most anti-government was the Marine Corps. And we talked about that too, where it's like when the Marine Corps has the most control over someone in the military's life, they control all like more aspects of someone's life than any other branch does. Yeah. And when it's basically right above prison. Yeah. Yeah. And when you go through that extreme control, government control, like probably one of the closest things to actual communism or fucking socialism, and you go through that, you come out the other end being like, holy fuck, that was terrible. I don't think that's a good way to run society. Now people wrap it around their minds that like we need that in the military, I can understand that. But at the same time, you can understand why a government should not be in charge of every aspect. Like if the government had its way, it would field day check everyone's house in America. Like I'm not even joking. If they could get away with that, they would fucking send some cop or health inspector to everyone's goddamn house and white glove inspect everyone's. If they were allowed to do that, if the American people allowed that, they would do it because that's what they do in the Marine Corps. Well, and that's how you keep a, healthy populace. It's like, that would be how they kept, like, they would, and it does work that way. If you can be involved in every aspect of what people are eating, how they're living, this, that, or the other, then you can keep the populace the way you want it. If you're involved in every aspect of what they do on their day-to-day lives, you have. I remember when I was getting out. This was my last year, and you were already out. And I don't know why, but I was about to leave. And the first sergeant, like, I don't know if you talked to your first sergeant, but I had to talk to my first sergeant. I don't know, maybe because I was a piece of shit and I got in trouble, but I had to go talk to the first sergeant. And there's actually a group of us. It was like kind of a rep from each section. And they're like, what do you think about the Marine Corps not allowing Marines to get married for their first contract in the military? And I was like, well, I was like, well, and like people that like, you might at first sight, you might think that's kind of crazy, but the military has an extremely high divorce rate. Like their divorce rate
and spousal abuse rate.
That's true too. And it's a lot. Like there's a lot of Marines, and I kind of understand where they're coming from, because they give a lot of extra money. They bring the wife or spouse, whatever, out to the base. They pay for them to be there. They fucking have to pay for their Medicare or whatever. What is it called? Tricare. And it's a lot of money that the fucking military has to spend for this fucking spouse. And the divorce rate's very high. So they're spending all this money, and then like a year, 2 years later, they're getting a divorce because whatever goddamn reason. And and from that perspective, you can kind of understand why they're like, yeah, we need to kind of stop this. But
and
that's
it makes
the level.
sense, but at the same time,
that's the level of control. Yeah, the level of control they want on people's lives is like, you can't even get married now, which is like, in my opinion, like one of the like founding things in our country, because like we're kind of like a Christian conservative type country, and like getting married was like a big fucking deal. And now the military
especially
is
if
like,
you don't have the chance to, like, you know, you could go and die, but you're not allowed to go get fucking married.
That's another
whole thing.
Like you can't actually get married to someone, but you can put on a little suit, get your little gun, and go fucking die for your country. But you can't
dude, that'd probably work out for a lot of Marines, though. They'd be like, all right, I can get these bitches pregnant, but I don't have to fucking marry them because I'm legally not allowed to.
I'm sure there would be like some stipulations, maybe. I would assume the Marine Corps would be like, well, if you got her pregnant, it's a little understandable. I don't know, but then that might backfire.
That would backfire quickly.
Yeah, that could be very bad.
Because most of them get married because they got somebody pregnant.
Yeah, and it's usually a stripper.
Yeah. I don't know. The world is fucking weird, Typo. I feel like this is a general theme over the last, 6 months.
Yeah, the world's like, it's weird. It's like getting weirder and weirder, but it's like becoming, and I think it's a good thing. I don't necessarily think it's a good thing that everything's getting very political, very polarizing. I think it generally, for society, that's a bad thing. But I just think that it's becoming a lot more obvious of what the problem is. Yeah. And it's a good opportunity for people like us, other podcasters, to point out what the fucking problem is.
Yeah.
And that's maybe the good thing that comes from all this, is that we can like listen. Liberty might not be that bad, guys. There's a better solution than fucking government control.
We can install a better warlord than the one that we have now. Like, come on, we can.
Yeah.
It's like, that's kind of like what Pat said from Uncensored Tactical on our fucking Instagram page, where he's like, thank God there's people like us out there that are actually spreading the message, because if not, like, we'd be in a whole world of hurt. And thank God, like, we figured it out as early as we did. We can appeal to a group of people that have never been appealed to before, or haven't been appealed to heavily before. And now there's a fucking podcast that all the civilian fucking normal libertarians, anarchists can tell their military friends, like, these guys are like you. They're fucking stupid. They joke like you. They fucking say the really fucked up things that you do that everybody else like shies away from you about. And they joke about it. And they believe in this idea because they're not like super prude lefty anarchists. They're, whatever you would consider us. I don't even know what most people consider us, but whatever you consider us, like, we don't get, cult-like, not hashtag not a militia. Whatever they consider us, like, at least we're hitting a niche that hasn't been hit before. And hopefully we continue hitting that niche and we're banned out of every fucking COC in the goddamn country. So then they listen to us more off on their own time.
Yeah. And it's not even like we're saying that, like, you know, liberty is easy. Like I've never really heard anyone say that. I don't think it'll be having easy at all. Ultimate freedom and liberty is easy. I'm just saying, like, when the government gets involved, it makes things, maybe in my opinion, a lot harder. Like what's happening,
and to be honest,
right
worse,
now,
because it worsens it sickens the community. I think that's the best way to explain it.
It poisons things.
It poisons everything it touches. Literally poisons it. Like it doesn't. There's not, like, as much as you can say that the United States government has created whatever it has created, whatever the United States is, the idea of it, it hasn't. The people did. That was the whole point of the United States. It wasn't the government creating these things. The people did. And that's the whole fucking point. And people automatically equate the people of the United States, the government of the United States, because of how we write and how we talk about the United States government and how it's owned and ran by the people. And it's not, and it never has been. Not once in the entire history of the United States has it been.
Yeah. It's
what
like
created the United States as we know it. And the idea of the United States is the communities in the United States creating what the United States and the ideas of the United States.
It's the people and society that made this country an economic powerhouse of the fucking world, a cultural icon of the fucking world. It's the people that did that. Our fucking government just poisons it along the way. It's the parasite that feeds off us. And now it's getting
takes credit.
bigger and big. Yeah. And then they take all the goddamn credit, all the credit in the world, that they're the ones, that they're the ones. And that's what, you know, like, just, that's what pisses me off about, like, you know, when you see like NFL games and it's like, oh, they bring out the big flag and it's like, oh, this is for the troops. They say it's for the troops, but why is all the symbolism represent the government? Why is the symbolism for, like, why isn't it they're holding a big banner of soldiers and Marines that died and the list of them, the ones that put the lives on the line, the ones that actually did something? No, it's always something, and they say it's for the troops, but it's actually for the regime. It's always for the regime. It's not for the veterans.
Exactly. The United States government is the shitty Big Lots manager that's fat as fuck, never does his job, and then takes credit for having the best fucking sales month of the year when they have, you know, 4 shit hot 18-year-old fucking nobodies that sold the most and had like the top cashier in the fucking country out of the company. Like that's what they are. Like every movie you've ever seen where it's like somebody's getting stepped on because they're better than everybody else at their job, and then somebody else takes credit for it. That's what the United States government is. And it takes credit for everything that the people of the United States have done. And they get away with it because the people see it as a unifying like thing. Like the regime is unifying all of us and it represents all of us, and it doesn't. It represents a very small few of people, and they're the ones that get all the credit for everything.
Yeah.
It's fucking wild. But I guess that's a good place to end it. I'll end it on Elon Musk is the best African American we have in the United States.
and he owns Elizabeth Warren.
And he owned Elizabeth Warren.
He owns a Native American.
All the people, dude. All right, so real quick, all the libertarians are like, yeah, but he takes government subsidies, and it's like, bro, like, what have we been saying the last year and a half? Take as much money from the United States government as fucking possible. I don't care how it comes in. I do not care how it comes in. I found out the other day from Nick. I'm about to go celebrate his birthday with our buddy Nick. I found out that he's doing his fucking disability, and he was pretty sure he gets 100%, and that's $3,000 a month. That's $3,000 a month. Yeah. So I'm gonna go do my fucking if you had a loss of hearing from like, and you can show that it degraded during the Marine Corps, which I definitely have paperwork in my medical record that states that, it's automatically 44%.
Holy shit.
So yeah, go take as much money from the United States government as you can until it fucking collapses.
They're taking the money anyways. They're printing the money anyways.
Exactly. And if I could prove the whole shit with my neck and my fucking hand going numb, like I could get 100%. And I'm pretty sure I did the paperwork that makes it so I get back paid for everything. So I'd get back paid from the date that I do it. And if I do, and it's 100%, I'd get 180K, 180. I'm sure it'll be taxed out the fucking ass, but
Yeah.
I'm going to see 30K of it. But, at this point in time, take all the money you can from the United States government. If you can do it, because it's not going to it's not going to fucking last. It's not going to fucking last. It doesn't make you any less of a
the global elites. Everyone understands this. The politicians, the corporations, other foreign governments, they completely understand that the Federal Reserve is the hugest honeypot in the world history.
Yes.
It's the hugest honeypot. They're all trying to get their money. Get yours. Get what you can. They are fucking you. They tax the shit out of you. They put up some bullshit law. You have to pay for some bullshit licensing.
You don't think these billionaires aren't buying fucking Bitcoin or whatever crypto right now? That's what they're transferring they're doing that so they can get away from fucking taxes, and then instantly turn around and they have a fucking big ass security blanket for when the dollar fails, and they're the richest people alive again still. So guess what? You do it too. Take all the money you can from the United States government as much as possible, and fucking make it to give yourself a nice little nest egg. So when it all comes down collapse, you're not fucked like we've been every other fucking time in history.
Yeah, agreed.
So I think that's a good place to end it. There we go. That's it. Yeah. Go check out our fucking pages. Share our shit, comment, fucking do whatever you can. YouTube, we're on there. Odyssey, we're on there. Go fucking check out that shit. Put our name up in the fucking algorithms. All that gay shit YouTubers say.
Like and share, guys. Smash that like button.
Hit that subscribe button right here. I'm not gonna
notification bell.
Yeah, I'm not gonna edit that in.
Yeah,
that's too much for me.
I don't know how to
see
do
my
that.
finger really. Yeah, so go do that shit. And share us with your fucking vet friends. Like, honestly, it'll give them something to laugh at the very minimum. They'll get to laugh. You show them one of our funny episodes. I know sometimes we get in our fucking, like, the world is falling fucking episodes. It's kind of what this one was, but we still had fun. We still joked around about a bunch, and I'm sure the vets, they'll feel it. They feel it. I know they do, because we've had plenty of them fucking message us and say they love listening just because it reminds them of the good times that they had in shitty situations. So share it to a vet. Do that. That's all I ask.
I love America. Fuck the government.
I love the, or what is it? Fuck the apple, eat the core. Yeah. That whole shit.
Oh God.
Or no, I said that wrong. Fuck the core, eat the apple. I don't remember how it goes. Whatever.
No, I think you said it right the first time.
Okay. It doesn't sound
fuck
right.
The apple,
fuck the
eat
apple,
the core.
Eat the core. Yeah.
You've been detached too long.
I know.
It's been 5 years for you, buddy.
I know, dude. It's about to be 6 in fucking July.
That's fucking crazy.
6 months away from 6 years outside the Marine Corps. That's wild. But yeah, that's the fucking shit show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Typo, you got any last words?
Well, love America. Fuck the government.
All right. Yeah.
That's what I wanted to end on.
Those are the words. Yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you next week. We out.